So does he fit with the Yankees? Where does he fit? How does he fit? Let's talk about it. What's going on, gang? Hope you're doing well. Happy Saturday. So I want to talk about Yoan Moncada today, right? And we've been talking about every option available. Second base and third base and free agency and the trade market. And again, there are 5 weeks left before pitchers and catchers are report. So instead of wasting my time and wasting your time with what does the Yankees lineup look at like right now, because it's not going to look that way in 5 weeks. So what's the point of making a video like that, right? It doesn't serve any purpose at all, except to give people a reason to trash a team that's not going to look the same way. So I don't see any value in that. So I want to talk about Yoan Moncada and talk about how he fits. And I'm going to put him up here. Okay, let's break this down. Let's take a look at his stats. Okay. Now, if you look at this guy was the #1 prospect in baseball back in the day when the Red Sox signed him. Then he was traded to the White Sox for Chris Sale, and he's been with them for the last 7 years or 8 years. So you could see when he plays well, I mean, he's a career 254 hitter, 331 on base, 424 slugging. He's a career 756 OPS. When he plays full time, you see some production out of him. He's got some power potential there. He strikes out a fair amount, but his that has gotten better over the years. But he averages, he averages about 20 home runs a year and about 74 ribbies when he gets an opportunity to play. He also averages 34 doubles in a 162 game span as well. So you're looking at contact here. Good, and he's a switch hitter. Okay, but if you look on the far left, you'll see. Okay, he also has a 3.1 WAR average per 162 game span. But look at his games. He averages not a lot of games. Okay. Last year he had 12 games. The year before that, 92. The year before that, 104, and so on. He hasn't really had a full year, a relatively full year, 140 games plus since 2021, and he's done it again in 2018. Aside from that, he hasn't been close in the other years. So this to me represents, potentially a backup player or even a bench player. Okay. And why do I say that? Well, how does it fit? How does it make sense? Let me get this off the screen here so we could talk about this. Okay. How does this make sense? Well, we've been talking about other players like Brandon Lau and Ha-Seong Kim. And I'm going to stick with those two guys because those are the two guys that make most sense to bring in a guy like Yoan Moncada. Okay. If you can give 150 to 200 at bats, that's pretty much 4 times the amount of at bats he got last year. It'll be a good opportunity for him, even on a 1-year deal on the cheap. Okay. This is a high risk, high reward type of guy. And it's an opportunity for show that he can stay healthy and produce. Right. The Yankees also brought in Andrew Velasquez yesterday. So they added a speedy, high energy guy that is going to get an invite to spring training. Could be another either AAA depth or could be a bench player. Just like Yoan Moncada could be a bench player. Why do I like that? Because I'm going to pull up Brandon Lau stats. We already know Ha-Seong Kim is coming off surgery. So there's no guarantee he'll be ready for April. So there's that. But Brandon Lau, he played 107 games last year, 109 the year before that. There's only once in his career he's played more than 140 games. That's 2021. Aside from that, he's also had the injury bug, but he does have a contact skills, power, defense, contact when he stays healthy. But the problem is he's not staying healthy. Just like Ha-Seong Kim now is coming off shoulder surgery. So this is an opportunity if you get one of these guys to try to also bring in Yoan Moncada to give these guys regular rest and give Moncada a chance to increase his at-bats and his portfolio in a potential better contract for 2026. Give him an opportunity to play and stay healthy while keeping the other guys relatively healthy and recovered too, while improving the Yankees bench significantly. And defense too. Again, Moncada's a switch hitter, solid defense, okay? He's got the contact and power skills, but he also has the same bug that Brandon Lau had, the injury bug. But when they're healthy, they're pretty productive. Right? So there's one reason I've been talking about guys that have been relatively healthy, but those guys are not really available. Most of the trade options are available for second base, not third base, which is why I keep saying it might be better for Jazz to play third in 2025 instead of second because it's a better combination there. And again, I talked about this too when we talked about Luis Arias and some other players. We don't need to have a super gold glove at second base. Okay, it's not going to be worse than what we had last year. Okay, but if we can get somebody with decent contact skills and put the ball in play with some decent on base percentage, we upgrade offensively, it'll lengthen the lineup. And again, keep in mind, we don't have Juan Soto in right field now. We have Aaron Judge in right field, and he has an absolute nuke for an arm. Okay, a nuke, a cannon for an arm. So he'll get the ball in to the second baseman or the cutoff man real fast. Okay, so there's that. You have a good elite defender backing up the second baseman and the first baseman. Okay, who's an elite defender himself. So whoever plays second will get protection from, right, Volpe at short, Goldschmidt at first. So, and again, Moncada plays second and third, just like Oswaldo Cabrera. So this also offers you an opportunity if you want to sit. Let's just say Brandon Lowe comes here or Hassan Kim, right? And you want to sit him and Jazz in the same day to give them both rest, right? Jazz to give him an occasional rest, and Lau or Kim to give him a regular rest because they need it. Now you can play Moncada and Oswaldo Cabrera at the same time without really sacrificing much production there. Okay, so there's something to think about too. This is a great way of lengthening the bench and improving the defense and versatility on the team. Okay, again, if you're a baseball fan, I'm going to continue to talk about this. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, please, especially if you're a Yankee fan. Just turn on your notifications. I don't want you to miss anything. We have 5 weeks left of spring training, the pitchers and catchers report. I don't really care what the Yankees lineup looks like now because it's not going to look like what it looks like in 5 weeks. Okay, in their roster too. So, but you give me your thoughts on this. Let me know what you think. Does Moncada make sense? And this is the area where I think it makes sense. This is why I invite people to think. Right? Let's have a little bit of a critical thinking here and have a better discussion. That's why I don't do talking points and use other people's ridiculous craziness. Right? I think it's important to think critically. That way we can put the pieces of this puzzle together. And the Yankees have had a pretty strategic offseason. There's a lot of people saying they haven't done anything. Well, that's not true. It hasn't been a team that's been busier than the Yankees. So, but Yoan Moncada could be a fit, but I think he would have to come or should come with, if he's willing to come here on a 1-year deal, would be willing to come with a Lau or a Kim or something like that. Now, if they get somebody like Nico Horner, maybe you won't need him. Maybe Oswaldo Cabrera would be the better option there because I do think his best value over Oswaldo Cabrera is as a utility player, backing up all the infield positions and even the outfield positions. He's a better backup because we don't have somebody as good as him to back him up if he becomes a starter. And that's where the layers of player, the depth comes into play. We traded away Caleb Durbin. Okay, we've got guys like TJ Rumfield and some of these other guys, but there's no chance. I mean, there's no guarantee they're going to make the majors just yet, too. So this is where I think Yoan Moncada makes sense. And in the meantime, we'll talk about everybody else. I mean, another piece of news is that Anthony Santana has received a contract offer from an American League East team not named Orioles. So he might be going to a different team in American League East. I'll get the news out to you if he signs. Receiving a contract offer from a team is not news. It's not breaking news. Signing with another team is. That's just the way I look at it. So I'll get that to you whenever it happens. And we got Bregman who hasn't signed yet. There's a lot of players who haven't signed or been traded. So there's going to be a lot of activity over the next 5 weeks, and I don't want you to miss any of it. But the topic of the day is, in what situation does Yoan Moncada make sense for the Yankees? And this is the type of situation where I think he does. If you bring in Kim or Lau, I think Yoan Moncada will be another piece of the puzzle that would be a good idea for the Yankees' depth and their bench. And his versatility will play well here and give an opportunity to rebuild his value. And he would get enough playing time. He had 40 at-bats last year. He got 150 to 200. That's a significant increase. And it'll give a good idea of whether he can stay healthy or not. And if you get decent production out of him, even better. Right? So give me your thoughts, gang. Have a great rest of your weekend. Okay, some college football on today, some big bowl games, some big NFL games tomorrow. So I'll be previewing them. Okay? And but enjoy the weekend, gang. If anything else comes out, you're going to get it. Peace.